Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Lady K Chat, a podcast that is designed for men and women to become better versions of themselves, which is broadcast every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Various subjects will be spoken upon, such as relationships, health and wellness, personal development, wealth building, children, and so much more. She is a two-time Amazon best-selling author, an international speaker, and life coach. She is Lady K. And now for your host, Lady K.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Lady K Chat podcast. You are here with your favorite host, and for those who are tuning in for the very first time, I am the Lady K who speaks that fire truth. Don't hold her tongue back, but do it with love. So I want to welcome you today, and I thank you for continuing to come here with me in the month of February. We are doing Black History all month long, and today I want to tell you a little bit about my special guest. I would like everyone to help me welcome Mr. Salih Bey. He is the talk host show for Feel Good Radio with DJ Rudd, and also More to Life at Genesis Radio. Welcome, Salih.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I appreciate you being up with me today. But I know today we're going to talk about a little bit in the music world, because I know this is right up your alley. This is your field. And, I want to talk about hip hop culture, because hip hop culture is so important. It produced so many different avenues for people of our color. And as you can see, it branched out to other areas. But I got to give a shout out to hip hop, because you know what? Because it was birthed from where I was born at. And I got to give all credit to the BX Bronx.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Shout out to the Bronx, New York. Not no Bronx elsewhere. Bronx, New York. Yes, I said it first. But you know what, Salih, I really do appreciate the art of hip hop. But I want to know from you, what do you appreciate about the art of hip hop?
The art?
Yes, the art of it.
Of course, the expression,
right.
the guidance that it gives. Hip hop birthed a lot of us. It raised us, especially when some of us were latchkey kids,
Right.
So hip hop and the radio was what kept us calm. We learned a lot. We learned how to maneuver in life through hip hop. We went through some eras that, the genetic has balanced out a lot in different ways. In different eras, we went through, the politics, and, they didn't think that it would be as big as it is, but it's a culture, what I'm saying? It's not just the art, it's a culture. So, I appreciate it for, I always say that Russell Simmons is Uncle Russ to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, he set it off for us in a lot of ways. So yeah, my appreciation goes deep.
Absolutely. And you said something key. You said that it raised a lot of latchkey kids. That hit home for a lot of people, because some of these kids did have to raise themselves. But I think, there's something about music that's just so soothing, and also too, when you can just relate to the words. So I'm pretty sure that some of the words that they brought forth, like for me, one of my favorite artists, I'm gonna get to yours like a little bit later, but one of mine is KRS-One. I think he is so fly. He is so dope, and his lyrics is like, yes, you're speaking truth, you're speaking love, you're speaking facts, and I love it. You know what I'm trying to say? What do you like about KRS-One?
I respect KRS-One. I'm from Queens, so it's always gonna be that battle with us, because of the Queens keep on faking it. I listen to KRS-One growing up, like his singles. I think he's a pioneer. He's an educator.
Yes.
He definitely had a strong movement and still does. But I'm like a little biased because of the whole battle. But overall, KRS-One, he's a legend, of course.
He is. But most importantly, like you said, he's an educator. He really is truly an educated man. And sometimes, because the color of our skin, they bypass that because of the vulgar words, because how we express ourselves. But I'm not going to get too much on how the worldview was, but at least we know we can identify and we can relate with some of the things that he teaches about. Can you agree with that?
I mean, he brought us this far.
He did.
He carried it. He carried the torch. He still carries the torch.
Absolutely.
He passed the baton. He's inspired a lot of other artists. That's really, I mean, he is who he. I mean, KRS-One been around for what, 30 years?
30 plus years.
30 plus years. So to see him in that verses, that was a beautiful thing. It gives the youth the opportunity to learn more about hip hop, where it came from and where we were at, and his story. So KRS-One, I mean, he's been around for a very long time.
Absolutely.
The education evolved some, but for he's played his part. He's like our living Dr. King, or I give him that kind of.
I can attest to that. I'll piggyback off of that. Now, for you, Salih, how has hip hop impacted your life?
Well, it gave me a great brotherhood, a lot of friends, as a way of expressing myself, because I'm quote unquote supposedly bipolar, but I think we all should be dualistic and multifaceted. But it gave me an opportunity to be able to express myself. I enjoy it. Like I said, the creativity, and being able to, I do a lot of inspirational type of music. Like I'm working on a project right now, Grand Rising, and it's like I'm doing like a pop feel. We calling it hip hop. So it's a popular field, and we're doing more of like a motivational thing.
Okay.
And so I mean, I come a long way with that. Shout out to Hydra, shout out to Genesis Radio for helping me back in the project.
Okay.
Rudd, Pleasantville. I'm also a CEO of a label, so that's giving me the opportunity to help other artists and do some artist development.
Nice.
I mean, it gave me an outlet to like a career. Once you own it, it's
Right. So you said something about Grand Rising. Go a little bit more into that project. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, Grand Rising, being that I'm a Moorish American, but Grand Rising was more so. I don't want to give away the cover because the album cover is like everything.
Okay, so that's actually a album.
Well, yes.
Okay,
is an album.
Okay.
Compilation album, same thing. But Grand Rising, that's how I greet people when the sun rises, instead of mourning, because we don't want to mourn. You know what I mean?
I respect that.
Trying to change the colloquialism a little bit. So Grand Rising for me was because of my album cover. It came to me in the middle of the night, and it has a lot to do with what's going on within this pandemic, and what the globalization effect, like everything that's going on within every community across the world. I know that hip hop, I know that music is a language, is a love language, is a language that, I mean, we could reach. I mean, hip hop has reached every nationality, every ethnicity. Like you know what I'm saying? That's the beautiful thing about it. So with Grand Rising is like, from the album cover, I really don't want to give it away until everything is situated. But from the album cover, what the album cover depicts, it kind of gave me that I'm an Aquarius, so I have this rebellious nature, like it's revolutionary mindset. So from the album cover, where I saw that I'm doing basically, I'm adjacent to it. I'm adjacent to what the album cover is expressing and what they meant by this picture. They meant something by this picture. It symbolized something towards United States, towards America. And for me, it was like, wait a minute, being a Moor, we have to separate the United States and the Americas, the continent. So it made me, Grand Rising, like, are people around here saying that they're woke. So it's like Grand Rising, you know what I mean? Like, let's be grand in our rising and understand that what was depicted and was symbolic towards this continent or this country is not actually what's going to go on with the people. Because even through the pandemic, we're like, there's a lot of family-owned businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs being developed. Where it's a new way of life for us, where we're taking it into our own hands, and that's something that that's what Moorish Americans teach. Like, we teach to be more sovereign, more active within our own right for ourselves. So it's like it's a shift happening.
Right.
As we wake up, there's a shift happening. So Grand Rising to everyone that's woke. If it's as the Bible says, it's 144,000, then let it be 144,000. And Grand Rising to the 144,000. But I'm pretty sure that it's way more than that, But that's the concept.
Okay, I love that concept. That's very dope. I'm happy that you gave a little bit of context of what the Moorish was, because I was going to ask you, I heard you say Moorish. I'm like, for some people, they don't understand what that means and what it is. So thank you, for providing that. But if you want to provide anything additional that they need to know, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, what I'll do is I'll give a plug. I'll give a plug to More to Life segment on Genesis Radio. But I mean, more science is just getting back to the people, giving back to carbonized people, not just melanated, because everybody's melanated. But this is for all walks of life. People take it as a religion, but it's a way of life also, as a culture.
Absolutely.
It's a culture, and is more paying attention to the documents, paying attention to what the Constitution says, paying attention to what Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, us being able to govern ourselves to a certain capacity and understanding which side of the fence we're actually on.
Right.
And what are they called? Essential workers or public servants.
Right.
Public servants, understanding their duties and who we are as we the people that the Constitution states, and structuring yourself up properly. So, I'm gonna try to give that energy on the record. I'm not gonna be on some like real trying to educate people on the album. I want to have fun. So
you know what, for a lot of artists, it's always about education and having fun, and then a variety of other things, because you have to diversify the music that you're putting out there. Just like we just both agreed, KRS-One, he was an educator, but he also brought some other river to him too. So I think that's really great that you're bringing that in. Even though today we're talking about hip-hop, but it was also great that you brought some culture to it about our history here in the States, because previous to this recorded on another show, me and the gentleman was actually talking about the indigenous people and people and how important they are, not even just to the States, but to this world. Exactly, we are the indigenous people. So I just really feel like it's really important for people to understand our history, to understand how dope we was. Let me tell you something about the indigenous people, just real quick, and I'm gonna move forward. According to Ron Yates, that he provided this information on the show, and shout out to him too, because he's also on Genesis. I love Genesis. Hi, Terry. He provided the information when they came over to the South America and how they built the pyramids. And when they did the studies of the pyramids over here and compared and contrasted to the pyramids in Egypt, it was similar. So it's like no way in hell some brand new people duplicated the same system. It's the same people. So we have evidence, no matter where we travel to, that our brilliance that we bring forth is nothing but resilient. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think these pyramids are older than those over there.
They might be. Might be, but it's
not
the
actually
same technology.
Right.
It's the same technology. It's the same thing duplicated. But from my understanding, and Ron Yates, he's really great in this area. I call him my historian. He's like the walking dictionary. So, as he stated, I think we have more history maybe in the continent of Africa, because, you know, of course, that's where we migrated from. But at the same time, too, people was here thousands and thousands of years before Christopher Columbus discovered it. But I ain't gonna go into depth about that. Let's talk about the 5 elements of hip hop, because people don't realize there are elements, there are layers to hip hop. So educate us, Ali.
It's strange because I went through the 5 elements of hip hop, but I knew them. I started counting. Before I looked it up, I was like, okay, you know, MCing, you know, DJing, you know, breakdancing.
Yep.
And then there's graffiti. And I couldn't think of the 5th one. I'm like, what could possibly be the 5th element? And I'm like, oh, the human beatbox. Like, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because I've experienced all 5. So it was like, whoa, like, okay, so I am a part of hip hop. But growing up, you didn't really know that was the elements. It's
Absolutely.
just, that's what we were doing. It's like, yo, they break out the cardboard box and you break dancing, you know, you're trying to do a spin on your back, you're doing all of this stuff, you know what I mean? And then the graffiti, it was, I mean, I used to like to draw when I was younger, so it was dope. That was dope to do. The DJing, I had one of my childhood friends, his uncle was a DJ, so we used to just go up there and listen to music. And then one day it's just like, yo, I want to, you know, let me see if I could do this. And then the MCing, of course, I started doing that when I started recording. And the beatbox, it came with just seeing, like, shout out to the Fat Boys, you know what I mean, or Dougie Fresh.
Right.
I think Rozelle too. Rozelle is dope with the beatbox too, and just seeing them do it. So it's just like, you know, you get your little, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So let's go down the line, right? Because you hit it on the head, because I do like me some Dougie Fresh. So I think he's like the father of, you know, beatboxing. I think I give that to him, right? So as far as DJing, who would you say that's the top?
Oh man, top DJ. Wow.
Top DJ, like who bought it?
Well, I'm always gonna plug my man. I'm always gonna plug my DJ, DJ Rudd.
Okay, shout out to Rudd.
I mean, Rudd is like fascinating to me. It's like DJs that are legends called up to the station to find out who was actually doing a mix, and they found out that it was DJ Rudd. So, you know, if you have legends asking who you are, you know what I mean, then you're doing something right. But if we're gonna take a commercial route, I like DJ Scratch. I like DJ Premier. Yeah, Scratch, Premier. Those two really.
They ring a bell for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Flash. Vic. Pardon me, Grandmaster Vic. I have to give it up to Vic. Shout out to Queens, Grandmaster Vic. So yeah, those are
some of the top people that, like you said, on people that might know them worldwide. So
shout out to DJ Mr. Effects too, Untouchables. I can't forget him. I wouldn't want to do that because he was my DJ, still my DJ, but we haven't done any work yet. I'm gonna pull him in on the project later on. So I definitely got to give him his just due too. So yeah.
Okay, and that's dope. I appreciate that. So we touched based on bebop. We say DJs. Now let's go to MC. I'm gonna speak mine first. Me personally, on a female level, and I think she's dope, and she even got it in her name, and that's
Lady K.